All right, let's talk about a real master of disguise in the English language. You know, a linguistic chameleon that just can't seem to pick a personality. Today on The Explainer, we're going to crack the case of the letter Y.
You've probably wondered this a million times, right? Is it a vowel? Is it a consonant? Like, what's the deal? Why does it sound one way in one word and then completely different in the next? Well, that's the very puzzle we're going to solve today.
I mean, just listen to this. In yell, it's a consonant. In gym, it suddenly sounds like a short I. Then you have fly, where it's a long I. And in baby, it flips again to a long E. 4 totally different sounds from one letter. It seems completely random, but what if I told you there's a method to the madness?
Okay, so let's get our detective hats on. The case file is officially open. Our mission is to dig through the evidence and find the hidden rules that tell Val Y which disguise to wear.
And here it is, our key piece of evidence, straight from our source material. Believe it or not, this one little sentence has all the clues we need. We're going to pick this thing apart to crack the code.
All right, the investigation begins now. We're on the hunt for the 3 main disguises or sounds that the vowel Y uses. So pay close attention. Let's look at the clues.
First clue up is the word spy. Just listen, sp-I. That is a classic long I sound. And bam, just like that, we've got our first big break in the case.
So this points us to our very first rule. When Y is at the very end of a short one-syllable word, that's what we call an open syllable. Basically, there's no consonant closing it in. And when that happens, Y almost always makes that long I sound. And this isn't just a fluke. Check out this lineup of usual suspects. Sly, cry, fly. They all play by the same rule. Heck, even in a 2-syllable word like apply, that second syllable, ply, is open. So what sound does it make? The long I. Case closed on rule number 1.
But of course, the plot thickens. Let's grab another word from our evidence. Dirty. Now listen to that Y at the end. Dirty. That's not a long I at all. That's a whole new disguise. It's a long E sound.
And that's the key. When Y shows up at the end of a longer word, one with 2 or more syllables, it switches costumes. It drops the long I sound, and instead, it picks up the long E sound. And once you see this pattern, you'll see it everywhere. Think about it. City, crazy, baby, tasty. They all end with that EE sound, and they're all spelled with a Y. This is one of the most common jobs Y has in the English language. Okay, on to our third and final sound. Let's check out the word mystery. Now, we already know the deal with that final Y, right? It's a long word, so it gets the long E sound. But what about the first Y, the one in the miss part? Listen closely. Mis-ter-re. What sound is that?
Here's the deal. That syllable mis follows a classic pattern. Consonant, vowel, consonant. The vowel, our Y, is literally closed in or trapped between 2 consonants. And when that happens, it changes its sound again. This time, it becomes a short is sound.
And that right there is the secret to words like gym, symbol, and mystic. In every single one, the Y is stuck in a closed syllable, so it's forced to make that short I sound. And there we have it, our 3 core rules for the vowel Y. Not so random after all, huh? But wait a minute. Just when we think the case is closed, there's always a twist, isn't there? Turns out our letter Y has a partner in crime when it comes to making that long E sound, and its accomplice is the AY ending. I mean, think about a word like turkey. It ends with that exact same long E sound, just like baby or city. But check out the spelling. It's not just a Y, it's EY. So, what gives?
Well, this isn't just a one-off weird word. It's actually a small but consistent pattern. Our source material points out that there's this little club of about 40 common words in English that use this EY spelling for the long E sound.
And they're words you definitely know. Monkey, honey, key, journey. The sound is the same as baby, but the spelling team is different. It's really just one of those smaller patterns you get used to recognizing.
All right, so
We've got the main patterns, we've identified the accomplice. Now for the final boss level. We're going to take everything we've learned and use it to tackle a big, intimidating word. Let's see if our rules can handle the pressure.
So the source gives us this awesome 4-step game plan. First, look for parts you already know, like prefixes or suffixes. Then, underline the vowels you see. Next, try splitting the word up between the consonants. And maybe the most important step of all, be flexible. If you try splitting it one way and it sounds, well, weird, trust your gut and try splitting it a different way.
Okay, let's try this out on the word military. No obvious chunks like pre or tation. So step 2, mark the vowels. We've got I, and our friend y. Now let's try dividing it. What if we make open syllables? Military. Military? No, that sounds all wrong. Okay, step 4, be flexible. Let's try closing the syllables instead. How about mil-i-tar-ya? Ah, that sounds much more like a real word. Mil-i-tar-ya. Military. See, the system works.
So where does all this detective work leave us? What did we actually figure out? Well, we cracked the case, and in doing so, we've uncovered something really important about how English works. The big takeaway is this. The letter Y isn't just throwing random sounds at us. It's a chameleon, for sure, but it's a predictable one. Its sound changes based on where it is in a word and what kind of syllable it's in. So it looks like total chaos on the surface is actually a system. It's all patterns. So we've pulled the curtain back on the mysterious letter Y. And it turns out there was a logical system there the whole time, just hiding in plain sight. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other so-called weird rules of English are out there, just waiting for us to spot the pattern?